In that, a researcher must protect the personal informations and they ensure that the respondents may identify not to disclose without their permissions. Instead of giving a positive response to the company, we have to take the negative comments whichever come from the respondent, we have to take care in that report. Using another person's ideas, text or research without proper acknowledgement is unethical. Hello dear students, welcome to our course Business Research Methods. This is for final BBA 5th SEM, the session 2. Today we are going to discuss about the major business ethics and the role of business in research. So I am Devendra Somappa, faculty in Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. In the previous session, we discussed the basic introductions about the business research along with the measures, steps that included or the process are included in the business research. Today, we are going to discuss about the major ethics, the ethical issues in business research. Before going to discuss about the ethical issues, we first know about what are all the business ethics that included. So in that business ethics, the researcher should have the responsibility, the trust, the behavior, the principle, the relationship, and the choice, reliability and morality. These are all the major elements that included in the ethics. So if we move on to the ethical issues in business research. So as we know that why that particular ethical issues will be arise. So because we are collecting data from consumers, customers, suppliers, employee or even the selected peoples. So in that manner, we have to maintain very confidentially that particular information, or else that will be the breach of the ethical issues in business research. So in that first point, the informed consent. In this, we have to inform the participants about the particular research. What is going to be the purpose of that research, the procedure how we are going to follow, and the possible risk of the study. We have to inform to that particular participant before participating that research. So then only the participants will voluntarily agree to participate in that business research. That will be the major ethical issues may arise in the business research. Say for an example, before interviewing employees, the researcher explains the purpose of the research and obtains their consent. If you are not informing that particular participant, we may comes under the ethical problem in the research. So that will be the major first point. We have to inform the participant. The second one, privacy and confidentiality. In that, a researcher must protect the personal informations and they ensure that the respondents may identify not to disclose without their permissions. In that manner, the research should be conducted, or else it will be a ethical issues under the business research. So say for an example, a company's employee satisfaction survey reports only agreed results rather than individual responses. In this aggregated in the manner, if you are conducting for 100 employees, we have to take overall aggregated results, not an individual responses. We should not post it in the report because it may be problem for an employee in that organization. So that's why privacy and confidentiality is very important in business research. The next one, honesty and integrity. In this, the researcher should take the complete data whichever collected from the participant. So we should not manipulate or selectively reporting data as per our own words. We should not manipulate in the sense, say for an example, if a customer feedback, it includes negative comments. So these negative comments about that particular company, these should be reported accurately instead of being omitted to create a favorable impression. Instead of giving a positive response to the company, we have to take the negative comments whichever come from the respondent, we have to take care in that report. So that could be the ethical issues if you are not taking in that realistic data. So fourth point, avoiding plagiarism. So using another person's ideas, text or research without proper acknowledgement is unethical. In the sense, we can refer those particular journals, books or ideas whichever we gone through with the literature review, but we should not take that research only to the report. So all sources should be appropriately cited. So that could be the major ethical issues will come under the business research. So say for an example, a student writing an MBA project should reference books, journals and reports used in the study. So this could be the major ethical issues will come under the avoiding plagiarism. So then move on to the objectivity. In that, a researcher should remain impartial and avoid allowing personal beliefs or financial interest to influence the research process or conclusions. So in the sense, they could not take any assumptions based on that, based on their personal beliefs. They should not write as per that. They have to take the real evidence or the informations collected from the participants. That could be the major ethical issues will come under the business research. So then move on to the sixth one, protection from harm. So while participants should not expose to the physical, psychological or financial along with the social harm. So that could be the major ethical issues which will come under the business research. We should not force them as physically or psychologically or financially or socially. They have to be voluntarily come and participate in that business research. Say for an example, sensitive interview questions should be handled carefully. In the sense, they could have option to skip in that questions they are uncomfortable answering. If they are not at all comfortable with that particular questions, they could have chance to skip that questions in the business research. The seventh one, responsible use of data. So here the data collected from the customers, the participants, the suppliers, the respondents. So whichever we data collected, that should be used only for the stated purpose, and that stored securely to the prevent. We have to prevent the data for unauthorized access. So that could be the major ethical issues will be arise in the business research. Say for an example, the customer contact details collected during survey should not be shared to any third party marketer without permissions. So that is the major ethical issues will be come under the business research. Yes, these are all the major ethical issues will be coming under the business research. Next, we move on to the role of business research in decision making. So what is the major important role that may play in decision making in an organization? As we know that the business research, it will be helpful for strategic decision making. So in that, it may be helpful towards the formulate long-term strategies related to expansion. We could have going through with that business research, we could have get an options to expand our business, the diversifications maybe, and the mergers along with the competitive positioning. While conducting business research, we will be getting all these particular ideas related to the expanding, diversification or mergers or competitive advantages. So then, say for an example, a company evaluates consumer demand based competitor presence and economic conditions before entering new market. So this is we can get from the business research only. While conducting that research, we could have the idea about the consumer demand, the competitor presence and economic conditions about that particular product. So then move on to the second point, marketing decisions. So here the business research is helpful towards the marketing decisions, while it provides the insights to customers' needs and the market segmentations, pricing strategies, advertising effectiveness, and along with the distributor channels. So the marketing decisions is completely related on the customer oriented, what the customer needs and want, how we could be fulfill that particular needs and wants, that everything will be known from the business research. While conducting that research, we'll be get to know the marketing decisions. So for an example, a beverage company, it conduct taste test. So taste test, because the survey before launching a new soft drink, it will be helpful while conducting a taste test in that survey. So then this is the marketing decisions. So then move on to the third one, financial decisions. As we know that research will be helpful towards the budgeting, the investment analysis, the risk assessment, and the profitability evaluations. While doing that research, we could have the knowledge about the investment analysis, how much we have to invest in future term, and the risk assessment will be known from that business research. So then the example will be a manufacturing firm analyzes projected cost and expected return before investing a new machinery. So what is the cost for that particular machine? If you are investing on that machine, what are the profitability if you are earning after the investment? That will be known through with that business research. So then move on to the fourth one, human resource decisions. So here we could have an idea about the recruitment of an employee while conducting that research. It may be helpful towards the recruitment, training, employee engagement, the performance management, and the retention strategies may get to known from that business research. So take an example for that. The organization uses that employee engagement survey to identify the factors affecting regarding the job satisfaction and the reduced staff turnover. Why they are reducing our job turnover, and along with the satisfaction of that particular job will be get to know through with that business research. So the next one, operational decisions. So in this one, the research can enhance the production planning, the inventory control, supply chain management, along with the quality improvement. So that could be the major chances we could have change in that within the organization. So say for an example, a logistic company may studies along with the delivery patterns. Why? Because to optimize routes and reduce the transportation cost. So that could be the major reasons we have to conduct business research. The next one, risk management. So while conducting business research, we could have easily identified the risk management in the business. So it can be helpful toward the potential risk and evaluate their impact on that and support the development of mitigation strategies. Those are all the major elements that included in that business research. So say for an example here, a bank may analyze while conducting a research survey based on the historical loan default data. They could have give based on the data which have given in the previous, how the participants or the particular customer data history will be known through with that survey or research. They could have given or the credit approval process along with that research only. Based on that, if he is very good customer in that bank, they could have easily give the loans, or if he is not paying in that loan amount, he is having lot of due in the previous data, there can be chances of reducing or not giving any loans in that business. The next one, innovation and product development. While conducting research, we will be getting an idea about the new innovation strategies. The consumers' feedback or customers' feedback may be helpful towards to make an innovation and development of our product. So here it enables organization to understand the emerging customer needs and technological trends that leading to successful product innovations. The given data from the customers, we could have easily develop or modify our product as per the customer needs and wants. So here is an example for that. consumers electronic companies analyzes their user feedback to introduce new features in smartphones and wearable devices. Based on the consumer feedback, we could have changed easily about our product. We can easily modify our product as per the consumer needs and wants. The next one, customer relationship management. So in this customer relationship management, it will be helpful towards the to measure customer satisfaction, the loyalty and the service quality. It can easily enabling them to strengthen the long-term customers relationship within an organization. So that could be the major reasons we have to conduct a business research. So it's for an example here, an airline regularly surveys their passengers for the purpose is to improve in-flight services and enhance the customer retention. That could be the major reasons we have to conduct a lot more survey regarding that consumer or customer relationship management. These are all the main 8 roles in business research in business decision making. Thank you. We'll see you in the next session.